everyone, what's up? This is Marcos with Future Studio University. Welcome to another video on our Hapi series. Within the previous videos you have seen how to extend your Hapi server with plugins and how to serve static files. And generally static HTML content also applies to the concept of serving files, but usually you need a more dynamic approach and a view rendering engine to use conditionals within your views and dynamically add data dependent on your request to your views. So in this video we will go all in on views and how to add view support within your Hapi project. And before diving into the details, I want to make sure that you know that you can find the tutorial with the code snippets for easy copy and pasting on our website. It's the first thing in the description below. Okay, so I've already prepared a sample project importing Hapi and creating a server with a connection on localhost with port 3000. And finally we start the server and console log the connection details. And our task in this video is how to add view support, and I will show you how to add view support, and to render views and also pass context data to the views and dynamically render it or dependent on your request, render the data into your views. Okay, before Hapi 9 there was the view support integrated by default. With the release of Hapi version 9, you need to add a separate plugin called Vision to add view support. Okay, let's install the Vision plugin. I will use the npm shortcuts, and E or the npm I is for install. And the second dependency you need is a template rendering engine. Vision has support for multiple rendering engines like handlebars and mustache and Puck, which is called Jade previously, and the React views. So all the rendering engines are linked in the tutorial for this video. You can find them easily at the bottom of the tutorial. Okay, for this tutorial or for this video, let's use the handlebars engine because it's kind of easy to extend it. And now let's register the Vision plugin and configure views for your Hapi server. Within the previous video you've seen that you can use the server.register functionality. It's the method on the Hapi server, and to add a configuration object for the individual plugin. So we will register Vision, and we need to let's do it in ES6. So you need to check for the error callback. If something went wrong, just handle the error properly. We will throw an error so the server won't start, but you should have a proper error handling in place. Okay, because it's an asynchronous operation, you should move the server.start block into the server register to not run into any hiccups with the registering of the Vision plugin. Okay, with Vision in place and registered to a server, the plugin decorates your server with the views method, and the views method accepts an object for the view configuration, which is passed to the view manager, which you ultimately use for your template rendering engine. So at first we will register our engine, and we will use the HTML file extension, and for that we just require the handlebars dependency. Okay. With that in place, you need a path to your view files. It's in our sample project directly located next to this server.js file, and it's called views. It's a folder, and you can of course define a layout. It's a default layout which will always be used for your view rendering. So for the layout you have multiple options. You can either pass a Boolean value like true or false. If you use the Boolean value with false, no default layout is used, and if you pass true, the layout file has to be named layout.your file extension like HTML or HBS. We will pass a string value, which means that we define a custom and our own default value, and we will name it default layout. Okay, so with this configuration in place, the server will probably start. Let's check if the server starts. We didn't add any views yet or any routes yet, so we won't see anything in the browser. But let's check it. Okay. And we expect a server of 4.4. Okay, that's fine. So we didn't add any route yet, which is fine. We will do that now. The server starts with our view configuration in place. That's okay. What I missed up to this point is that I've added a views folder containing the default layout, which I've defined here. And the views path just points to this directory. And within the views directory, we have an index.js, an index.html containing just the template syntax for handlebars. It's a name property which will be rendered dynamically, passed from the route handler. We will see that in a second. So you can see that the view is kind of simple. It just defines a basic layout setup. The default layouts imports to CSS styles. It's a normalized CSS, and the milligram min CSS is a CSS framework. Kind of the name says it's a minimal CSS framework. Okay. And this placeholder here is used to put all your content from the partial views or from the views into this block. So every view rendered from your route handler will be put into this part. Okay, let's add a route to the server. We will use a very basic setup to render the view, which is sufficient for this tutorial. Okay, let's have a get method on path, just the root path, and a handler. Just reply the view and which one. So additionally, we can pass context data, and you've seen that we require the name property, and let's give it a shot like Marcus. Okay. Here you can see the reply.view method, and Vision decorates the reply interface as well, and at the view method, which expects the template name as the first parameter, the context data as a second parameter, and the third parameter is route and handler specific configuration for the view manager. So you can override the default layout. Okay, let's check our server again. All right, the view renders properly. You can see the greeting, "Hi Marcos, great to see you again." And yeah, so if you don't believe me, let's just render another value for this request. I will just start my server with supervisor, so I don't have to care about the restarts over and over again. Okay. We can add a path parameter like name, and we will pass the request parameter to the view without validation or anything, just straight to the view. Okay, let's see. So because I did a typo in the URL, you can see that it still works. So what about Feature Studio? Okay, that's fine. So I guess you believe that dynamically renders the view on the fly, and that I didn't cheat anything in the view to put in the names that I've just picked. Okay, so let's review what you've learned in this guide. So you can see that we register the Vision plugin, which is required to add view rendering support for various kinds of engines. You need to install and add a dependency for your project for the rendering engine that you picked. In our case, it's the handlebars engine. You need to define the view configuration for your project. It's a one-time configuration, and afterwards just use the route handler and use reply.view to render specific views which you have defined previously, and the view files need to be located within the path you have defined in the view configuration. Alright, thank you very much for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it, you have learned something new. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and we hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, enjoy coding, and make it rock.